And everybody, we're streaming this as well as recording. Also, when we do the Pledge of Allegiance, we have flags in the front and in the back, so the people in the front will probably be facing you all. You all feel free to face forward. You're fine. Larry's checking on something.
It's too strong.
We'll find out.
Okay, Mr. Clerk.
All rise. Oyez, oyez. The Honorable County Commission of the County of Putnam is now sitting in regular session to transact all business required of it by law or any other business that may come before it at this time. And now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're getting a humming.
Okay, Brian, what do you have for us this morning?
Gentlemen, I just have for you your edit registers so we can pay the bills. And other than that, I have a pretty easy day for you.
Make a motion, we approve the edit registers and orders as presented by our county clerk.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approval of prior meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve prior meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Erroneous assessments combine and divide. None. Personnel payroll changes.
Make a motion to approve personnel and payroll changes as presented by staff.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Payment of bills.
Make a motion to approve payment of bills.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner reports, public comments.
For commissioner reports, some upcoming meetings before our next scheduled meeting. We will have a transportation meeting in this courtroom on Monday, September 27th at 9:30 a.m. We will have a development authority meeting on Tuesday, September 28th at 4:30 p.m. at Area 34. That's all I have at this time.
We'll have a fire board meeting. It's been postponed from today until next Tuesday, the 21st, at 6 o'clock at Route 34 Fire Department. Fire board, that's all I have.
We have a planning commission meeting, which will be September 21st, 7 p.m. I don't have anything else. Are there any public comments on anything that is not on today's agenda? Please state your name and address.
Good morning. My name is Marcia Hopkins. I reside at 131 Barrington Drive, Scott Depot, West Virginia, 25560. And I resided there for now 21 years.
Okay, yep, go ahead.
Yes, I was made aware on Sunday by a neighbor that what used to be Camp Happy Valley is now going to be also a gun range put in. And I don't know whether that is valid or not, but I was advised of that, so I'm seeking information as to if that is going to happen, then what rights does a citizen that live and reside in that area have to present, or what stage it is at right now, currently. Currently, I live in Barrington Woods, and we have a lot of children that ride their bicycles through our subdivision. They also play there. Something of that nature would increase the traffic flow as a whole. We do have within the subdivision 15 miles per hour for driving as a whole. So my whole thing is about the safety, particularly of not only the children, but the residents that live within that area and how that traffic will flow. So if we could get some answers today, whether this has already come before the Planning Commission and what would be the status of that as a whole. And there again, I want to emphasize as a citizen and as a resident that live in that area, what do we do to respond to it? Because I have not seen any type of documentation or information about it.
Okay, Larry, has that come in front of the Planning Commission to your knowledge?
It has not. There has been nothing submitted to the planning office as of this date.
Okay. Just keep in contact with the planning commission, and if and when it gets on there, you'll have an opportunity to speak at the planning commission.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Krista Bogus. I live at 209 Tays Meadows, Scott Depot, West Virginia. I was enlightened about this gun range coming in on Thursday evening. No one in the community knew anything about it, but they were hearing a lot of gunshots. I made up a flyer and started going around the neighborhood. You hear a lot of things. A nearby neighbor told me about people going in tactical gear, and that was real close to the camp. I can't reveal that source, but someone else told me that the large scale, I don't know what you call it, view of this whole thing is a law enforcement training center for all of the police and whatever. I am a gun person. I have a gun permit of my own. I'm not against guns. I'm concerned about the secretiveness of what's going on. Yet on Sunday morning, I received a call and said that someone from the camp had gone into, I don't know the name of it, Barrington maybe. It's a subdivision on the back side of the camp, looking for the person who was coming up against them and this firing range. I'm assuming that was me. On Monday, which was yesterday, Jared, back here, showed up in my driveway. And he went up, wanted to smooth things over. He's a great guy. At the same time, I was in the back part of the subdivision, and a military helicopter hovers over the property. He told me it was Montessori School. Why is a school in a military helicopter? In the meantime, I'm leaving the subdivision, and I saw a neighbor out who hadn't been home, and about the same time as I pulled up, Jared pulled up. So we all four, had a conversation, and in the process of that conversation, Jared tells us they run a day camp all summer long there. It's supposed to be set up for children, and originally I think it was set up for foster children, children of drug addict parents that are recovering, or incarcerated parents. I think that has expanded to include other children, and I'm not against that. But I don't understand how this can be put in the same area where these children come in. It's a church that owns this property. I don't understand why a church is putting in a firing range. I don't like a firing range being close to that residence, because we're 2 miles from the business section on 34 in Tays Valley. I just don't understand. Let me back up and tell you this. Jared told me they had all the permits, straight to my face, and the other two neighbors said they had all the permits. One of the neighbors called the planning commission. There were no permits that had been given out. Another neighbor met with Jared last evening, and he told them that the planning commission had said that, and that it would be turned over to the prosecuting attorney. So immediately, he calls and has an appointment this morning to get his permits. They've already cleared acres of ground. If this is not going to be large scale, why have they cleared so much ground? Why is it being done in secret? Why are they lying? There needs to be some sort of an investigation. I would like that to be put on the agenda for the next meeting, if we could. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Morning.
Morning.
My name's John Tincher, and that's Jon, not John, and Tincher's Tincher. I live at 106 Barrington Drive, Scott Depot. I just want to second a lot of what Chris has said about a gun range up there. My little subdivision is really, it's shaped in a horseshoe, so you have two ingresses and egresses. One comes out on Scott Depot Road, the other one comes out on Fletcher Road, which goes up to this camp. When the camp opened up, we saw a lot of increased traffic going through our subdivision because of the geographics. The Fletcher Road, if you're going to take it and go out to Scott Depot Road or Poplar Ford, it's about a 45-degree incline. And then you have the mountain peaks out on the other side, so you have very limited sight distance. So a lot of times they'll come out of Fletcher and they'll just drive through our private subdivision to go out our other ingress and egress, which is more flatter, where it gets to Poplar Fork Road. But there's something else bigger going on here. I do agree. There's something bigger going on here, and it has been secretive. I walk up through Fletcher Road from time to time. I've seen like a vehicle with a Navy sign on it. So there's something, I think something to what Krista said about this is going to be some type of training ground or for shooting and stuff, for maybe police officers, military, something. And I don't think there's been any oversight whatsoever, none whatsoever. And I'm not anti-gun. I own numerous guns. Up until the last 3 or 4 years, I was an avid hunter, both gun and bow. I'm not anti-religion, but just because it's a religious organization shouldn't mean that no one's overseeing some of this if it's appropriate. And I think it's appropriate. And so I'm just going to second what Krista said, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Morning. My name is Steve Johnston. I live at 119 Tays Meadows in Scott Depot. And I too am speaking of the issue with the gun range. I learned about this a few days ago from Ms. Borges. And I haven't done as much research as others have, but I face that direction in my home. Now, I'm a few hundred yards away from where this gun range may be. I had no idea of the church that Mr. Davis, I guess, that owns the property and Mr. Davis runs the camp for. I watched his video. He's a good man. He's got good intentions for the children. I can't help but believe, though, that due to the financial hardships of the times, this is an issue to try to support that camp. There are better ways to do that than a gun range on a property that's rated residential. So there's a lot going on there, and I won't go into a lot of detail here. I've got a letter to submit to you, but I will say that I worked for the NRA for 7 years. At the top of every program the NRA runs, and this was before it was known for its political activism, was safety. For hunting, for the shooting sports, for personal protection, safety was at the top of the list. This doesn't seem to be a very safe direction that the church, that the camp, or that the county, when it becomes involved, is running. So I want to thank you for your time, and if I submit this.
Submit that over here, and she'll get us all copies of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Larry, what's the current zoning of that property?
It's R1.
So our most restrictive?
It is the most restrictive of any of the zoned areas.
Is it in the zoned area?
It is in a zoned area.
Anyone else?
Good morning. My name is Adam Arthur.
It's turned.
You turned up there.
Good morning. My name is Adam Arthur. I live at 366 Fletcher Road. And I've also recently learned about this gun range is going in. Whenever me and my wife were looking for a place to raise our family, we have 2 daughters. We looked for a quiet neighborhood in a residential area and did research around to find out who the neighbors were, what was going on in the area. And I would never have expected for a church camp, a facility, to be putting a gun range in. There's concerns for property value, because my property value will obviously go down, because I would never purchase that house if I knew there was a gun range there. And there's also concerns of the safety of my children. I've heard gunshots a lot over the last several weekends, and my children go in. I don't know who's shooting, where they're shooting, what they're shooting at, flying bullets. I want to protect my family, so they have to go inside. There's also concerns of runoff from the lead from the guns, from the bullets. And I'm not going to go into too much more, because I know you all have heard the whole story here, or I don't want to take up too much of your all's time, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Jared Davis. I reside at 62 Camp Appalachia Way, Scott Depot. I have the goals and missions and objectives of our proposed area of shooting firearms. I would like to submit it in a minute. We are accredited through the American Camp Association. That is a national governing board. There are accreditation standards that follow the safety for gun ranges. I would like to say, currently, we have not submitted anything to the Planning Commission because all we have done thus far is logged our property. So we are a logging operation currently with the goal and intent of eventually becoming a firing range, a private firing range for the kids at the camp as well as others who will come in and use us for our services. So we have not applied for any commission things because we have not needed to yet. We are just a logging operation. We've also been visited twice by the Department of Environmental Protection. We have received instruction on silt fencing needs. We also understand that if we're going to do a large-scale excavation, that there's a permit required. We also understand that if we do it 1 acre at a time, reseed that acre, there is no permit required. We currently do not have any equipment or not moving forward with any of this project. We have a logging operation happening right now. As far as I don't want to go tit for tat with the things. The Montessori school Blackhawk, I knew that was going to be bad timing. We have a school from Charleston renting our facility, tent camping with 15 campers. One of their fathers is an Air Force SOAR instructor. They're teaching the kids wilderness survival skills. He called in one of his Blackhawks to show the kids how they do search and rescue in the military. I have nothing to do with that. I wish I had the resources to get a Blackhawk to fly to my house. I do not have those. So that was a rental property from us. As far as people coming in tactical gear, if you're talking about people that were here last week, there were state police officers that came and toured the facility. We are not trying to be a secret underground police training facility. I have documents. I'm also going to be sending a flyer home to all of my neighbors today, inviting them to our property on Thursday evening at 6:30, if any of you all would like to join, so that we could discuss, hear their concerns. I also understand their concerns. I have 2 children myself. I live on the property. I'm the closest house to where the proposed range will be. I've also taken a decibel meter to every end of our property, and the loudest the gunshot was at the back of our property at Barrington Drive. Hold on, you're Barrington, right? Brendanwood Lane, sorry. Back of our property at Brendanwood Lane off of Route 60. The wind was blowing at 60 decibels. When we fired the highest powered rifle, which was an AR-15, it jumped to 67 decibels at the edge of our property. So a normal conversation is between 60 and 67 decibels. We have not opened the firing range. We have not shot we have shot in the direction or in the area it has. The gunshots that they heard Sunday was a person that lives on the property shooting in the woods 500 feet away from any building or structure into a safe and banked area, not where the firing range is. We've also had one battle run event, which we have another one October 2nd, and this event is an obstacle course race. Part of it is throwing smoke grenades, flashbangs, and people shooting blank rounds to simulate stress as people do. It's a unique race that we have in the area that's been very successful. We had one noise complaint on that, and I've talked to the lady that lived behind us, let her know what was going on. We've agreed that we're not going to go to the edges of the properties and keep it tight. So I would like to reiterate, the noise issue is any gunshots that they have heard have not been at the range because we don't have the range yet. Also, from the location of the range, it is no louder than 67 decibels. There's a few things that were said today that were not true, but I don't blame them if they got information from somewhere. No one from our camp went searching for someone looking for them in Brendanwood. I did drive to their house yesterday because I believe in going, if there's conflict, you go to the person you have conflict with. They're both lovely people. I discussed with them, they felt as though we were being secretly. I have to be honest, I've never put in a gun range before. We're not trying to be secretive. It's also very hard to hide if you're bringing major equipment down the road. As far as concerns for traffic, we averaged 114 kids at our day camp this summer. We also served over 200 kids in the overnight capacity. Fletcher Road is a public road. If there's an issue with the entrance of the public road, it does not have anything to do with the camp. That's a county issue, and Fletcher Road is fine, in my opinion. Now that we've requested, our camp parents requested the potholes be fixed and such, and the road's actually in good shape right now. So I understand their issue. I understand that I could have communicated better with them in the front of it. I didn't communicate because it honestly doesn't affect them. With Barrington Woods, for example, I took a decibel meter yesterday, parked in the front, the closest house, fired from the gun range. You can't even hear the shots. From Taze Meadows, I was in one of the residences in their backyard, the one that's closest to us, where the property line is, and you could not hear a handgun fire. You could hear the AR-15 fire. However, it was not loud enough to make the decibel meter go off, which was set at a low of 60. I will be having an informational meeting on our property Thursday at 6:30. Would love for you to join. I'd like to submit this, which tells you why it's important for the kids, tells you why we'd be naive to think that not teaching kids about firearms is dangerous to them, because even if their family doesn't have one, they're going to be to someone's house that has one. It also talks about how we have first responders at our camp all the time interacting with children, because the children that we are involved with, many of which have experienced childhood traumas. The whole purpose of our camp is to help kids who experience childhood trauma to not grow up and be living lives of chaos and dysfunction. Part of that is when kids see police officers or people who work in EMS. Myself, I'm an EMT. I work for Taze Valley Fire Department. I've gone into scenes, and I'm the guy that takes mom and dad away when they overdose or they do something bad. So kids look at us as the people who took mom and dad away, which is not a healthy worldview. So part of what we do since our inception, which was 4 years ago, was teach kids about first responders, and we have first responders out there very often to interact. Part of that in the off season would be being a place where first responders can come and train as far as safety goes. There's safety standards. We have a certified range officer that will be on site all the time. Safety is our number one goal. I would never do anything to endanger the lives of children. My whole career is about children. I have 2 children that live on the property. I would not do anything that would be dangerous. All specs, if we move forward, which is our plan as we continue to go. I also do not have an appointment this morning with anyone here. I do plan on stopping by and talking to a lady, I believe her name is Melissa. But I do not have an appointment, and there's not been an intentional secretive bit in this. Everyone that I've talked to from the surrounding neighborhoods, we're on opposite sides. If we're on opposite sides of the fence, everyone's been kind, everyone's been generous. There's not been any hostilities, which is a good depiction of the people that live in the area. Can I submit
If
this?
you'll submit those to Marcy for
Yes,
us?
sir. Thank you.
And Marcy, if you can get copies to all of us. Larry, is there anything in the zoning that would prevent a gun range in R1?
It depends on what kind of a gun range. Like I say, we have not received anything in planning yet, so we can do any type of an assessment to see whether or not it would be appropriate in an R1 or whether it would be prohibited.
And it'll be at least a month before it'll be on, it would not be on this month's agenda. If it went through planning, it would be on the following month's agenda. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So everybody stay tuned. It certainly is no secret now if they were trying to keep it secret. So we will keep you informed. Just follow planning and check our agendas for both planning and the county commission, and you guys would have an opportunity to speak at any future event. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Sure. It's not protocol, but if you can make it in 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, it's fine.
this gentleman said. Did you say that there was firing this past Sunday?
Yes, not at the fire.
But up the hall or somewhere? Because I was out Sunday, was it, you have approximate time on that?
Probably 10 or 11.
Yeah, I heard a lot of shooting. I live in Barrington Woods. If you get into decibels, decibels is intensity. It's not the sound. That's a slippery slope, and I know they use it a lot for sound, but it's intensity. But anyhow, you also said that there's, the board, really, there's nothing been provided to you or anything, and it's gonna take a month, Are they going to be able to continue just doing what they're doing in the meantime? Is that what's going to happen here? They're going to continue on and maybe get to the point where they have so much completed that it makes it even harder if there's going to be a reversal or something between now and a month from now or whatever?
I'm not sure I'm understanding your question. Run it by me again.
Well, you said the next meeting will be taken up like in a month. Well, a lot of work could be done on this in a month. So in that time frame, those be allowed to continue doing what they have been doing, basically? Continue on with their project?
You're talking about logging and...
The gun range, building the gun range. They'll be able to proceed on with that?
We don't have anything in our possession that would show that they're actually doing any work towards a gun range, other than the communication that we've had back and forth. So I don't know how we can restrict anything that we don't have the plans on. And if they're just logging, that doesn't fall within our category, does it, Larry? Yeah. So, I mean, we're kind of restricted in what we have the power and ability to do.
So in essence, unless someone's overseeing or actually keeping up with it from an outside standpoint, as far as you know, they're just logging.
Well, the logging operation would be overseen by the department. I think it's the DEP
right.
that oversees that.
But anything beyond that is not really being looked at. Or
Yeah, until they are operating a gun range, that really doesn't fall in our jurisdiction. They can build, build an obstacle course or whatever they want for their own use, but until they operate it as something, then that would be in violation of our ordinances.
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Did you, come on. Yes, you can request a copy. Just call our office and, yeah. And I would suggest maybe you all spend a few minutes talking to the gentleman there and do it outside of the meeting, because I don't think we can accomplish anything more here until they submit something. So if y'all would talk to him outside, I think you get a little bit more accomplished. Yes.
Like I said, Jared is a very nice man, but when he told us he had all the permits, and then we talked with the Planning Commission and they had none, I am reluctant to believe much of what he says. I'm concerned about what's going to happen down the future if they get this in near our neighborhoods. Would you want it in your backyard? We don't want it in ours. There are already 3 gun ranges in the area, and I don't understand why we need another one. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next thing on the agenda here. Estate settlements and fiduciary orders.
Yes, I just need a motion for the president to sign off on the estate settlements and fiduciary orders.
Make a motion to approve the estate settlements and fiduciary orders and authorize the president to sign.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Budget revisions.
I do have 2 budget revisions for you today. The first one is Department 424, which is Courthouse. The request is to increase capital outlay buildings by $5,000 and decrease capital outlay equipment by $5,000.
Make a motion to approve the budget revision as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the second budget revision is Department 700, Sheriff's Department. The request is to increase capital outlay by $25,000 and decrease auto supplies by $25,000. This is for Cradle Point IT equipment and licenses.
Make a motion to approve the budget revision as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You have any orders and resolutions to be presented to us?
I do have some orders. The first order is to issue a check from the TIF fund in the amount of $217,825.81 payable to West Banco Bank, trustee for August 2021 TIF revenue.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Issue a check from the Putnam County American Rescue Plan Fund in the amount of $8,921.60 payable to Morrison's Farms for materials on the Putnam County fiber optic broadband project.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Check from the General County Fund in the amount of $185,000 made payable to the Putnam County Building Commission Series B Bond Revenue Account towards Waterworks revenue bond payments.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Issue a check from the Technology Fund in the amount of $47,041.93 payable to Delage Land and Public Finance for the technology upgrade project.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Check from the Water and Sewer Fund in the amount of $12,250 payable to Terradon Corporation for engineering services on the Jim Ridge Phase 2 Water Main Extension Project.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the next three are all from the COVID-19 fund. The first is $8,583.97 payable to Caldwell's Truck Repair for an emergency medical service ambulance repair. Issue a check from the COVID-19 fund in the amount of $56,654 payable to Stevens Auto Center for 2 Sheriff Department cruisers. And the last one is in the amount of $91,968 payable to Northwest Emergency Vehicles for a 2021 Ford Transit ambulance.
Make a motion to approve the orders as presented.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that's all the orders.
Agency boards or appointments?
Believe we have any.
We have none. No interviews. Discussion of Deerfield Estates as a critical needs application through the West Virginia Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council authorization to apply. Terry Martin.
Good morning. I'm Terry Martin with the Regional Intergovernmental Council. I was asked 3 or 4 weeks ago to look into the Deerfield Estates as far as trying to find a funding source to be able to do this. The Infrastructure Council back in June of 2020, through the legislature, passed a critical needs application for projects that would not be built otherwise, as far as high cost, low service for customers. They usually get passed over because of that reason. This fits exactly that process, because what we have is we have an estimate from West Virginia American Water for construction in the amount of $773,000. That was done in March of 2021 for the residents and for Putnam County. I think they presented that to you. We can apply for up to $800,000 of funding through the critical needs application that is not rated on the median household income or cost per customer, just that this project would probably be passed over because of the high cost of it. What I'd like to do is, that estimate was done in March 25th. It might be updated because of the cost of pipe and services because of the COVID, which has raised costs within the last 6 months everywhere. I mean, pipe prices and wages have gone sky high. It's hard to get I think Commissioner Foster knows, you can't get a hold on anything. I mean, you bid something, the supplier gives you a 24 to 3 day notice of not the 90-day 120 days that you usually do, because you just can't do it, so prices are higher. We think this is probably a $950,000 to $995,000 project. Teradon, which is your engineer, is reviewing this with the water company. They're meeting today and tomorrow out at Deerfield Estates to make sure. This application cannot go over $1 million total project, or it doesn't qualify. What I'd like to do is get your authorization to apply if we find those funds are going to be currently available. I would, what we think that is the estimate for different funding is $800,000 from the Infrastructure Council, $150,000 from West Virginia American Water Company as far as their contribution, and we would be, if the difference would probably be about $50,000 that we would be coming back to you and asking for a commitment once the estimate is done.
There's 18 homes up there, I believe.
There
is that
are
correct?
18 homes, yes, and we always take and go about 90%. So I'm saying that there are probably 15 homes that are going to sign for the water service. There are always one or two, maybe one's vacant or something like that. So we always take the lower number because we have to verify through the Infrastructure Council and go for the Water Development Authority if we don't serve every one of those people when we start. So we've figured that cost at $5,201 per customer and 15. So that's about $150,000.
Okay, it's my understanding they've already got a petition signed from.
That's a petition. That's not a user agreement. The water company will require that they guarantee that they will sign up for 3 years worth of service, whether they connect or not.
And you're estimating 15 of the 18.
I am. And then if it becomes more, then your contribution is less.
And you're estimating our contribution would be?
$50,000 or less.
So 50,000 divided by 15 is $3,333 per household. We've spent far more on many, many, many projects, so.
That's exactly right. The biggest problem that I can find, and we will have to try to find another funding stream, is the state code states that if the total project goes over $1 million, then the critical needs grant application is not valid. It is not eligible. So therefore, if we go to $1,050,000, then we can't apply. And you can't subsidize and pay for something separately. It's total projects, not construction. We're very close to the limits that we can
Right.
do. So that's the reason we want to look at this again with the water company, have the water company go out and have one of their contractors to kind of review the overall costs before we go through the process of applying. It's a very short process. We are scheduled, or we are looking to apply before October 10th. We will know the first week of December whether we have the funds. And the funds once they approve them, it is a commitment. It is not a recommendation to pursue other funding and everything like that. It is a commitment that is locked in for a year.
Okay, so for now, you need just
I
an
just need
authorization
to apply.
I make a motion that we approve authorization to apply for the Deerfield Estate and the critical needs application through West Virginia Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council as presented.
Second?
Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I will tell you that when we get those numbers, I will come back and give you the exact figures of the estimate from the engineer and from West Virginia American Water.
Terry,
Okay.
when did you say you're meeting with them at the water company?
I understand that Jim is out this afternoon or tomorrow.
Okay.
Because they are meeting on Jim Ridge also today.
Okay.
And for the for the design, final design and and those type of things and right-of-ways.
Okay.
So they're meeting in the next couple, that's the reason Jim is not here today.
Okay, I do have one question. Since we're so close to the limit, let's say the estimate comes in at 985,000, and then you put it out to bids, and the lowest bid comes in at $1,050,000.
That's a question, I don't know the answer to that. I've got that same question to the Infrastructure Council, because my question is if we go over.
Right.
And the funds don't pay out until you bid the project. So engineering costs, legal costs, accounting costs are all held in limbo until you get a contract. Well, what if you don't have a contract? Then the Infrastructure Council doesn't pay any money out.
And then who pays for that cost?
Well,
That's where I was going with that.
That's the $100 question.
Do you know what those costs would be approximately to
They're
get it
going
to
to
that
probably
point?
be about $175,000 to $200,000.
See, it's a
I mean,
$175,000 crapshoot
That's
as to
correct.
whether you get funding or not.
That's correct.
And the $175,000 lies in limbo. Somebody's going to have to pay that at some point in time.
That's the reason I do not want to put an application that I don't think is going to be.
Okay. I just wanted all that out in the public so everybody was aware of what we have to be.
I'm dealing with, I have 3 applications and 2 of them will not be put in because they're going to be over $1 million with other entities.
Okay. Tell the design team to do a good job of design and we'll get it under.
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. I'll amend my previous motion and add authorize the president to sign.
Second?
Motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Acceptance of grant award notice on the Community Development Block Grant Agreement for the Jim Ridge Water Line Phase 2 extension.
Yes, I'm glad I just stayed right up here.
Oh, you're on the agenda again.
What I have is a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a HUD Community Development Block Grant. I will read it. Whereas the Putnam County Commission has received an award of $1.5 million for the construction of the Jim Ridge Phase 2 water line extension. And whereas the commission must act on an agreement and contract for the West Virginia Department of Economic Development for this grant, now therefore be resolved that the Honorable Ronald Reagan Foster, President of Putnam County Commission, is hereby authorized to sign the agreement and all documents pertaining to the award and submit them to the West Virginia Department of Economic Development for approval. This is just, it's an acceptance of the grant. It is the agreement that you will abide by the laws and requirements of the HUD grant and also setting up a budget for that $1.5 million.
I make a motion to accept the grant award notice and the Community Development Block Grant Agreement for Jim Ridge Phase 2 water line extension and authorize the president to sign as presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have documents, they're duplicates, there's 2 resolutions. We have to submit 2 to the development office and they will send 1 original back to you. I will tell you, we are in the final stages of the design. We had our implementation meeting probably 2-3 weeks ago with Tim and myself and Sawana and the development office. Everything went very smoothly. I think the only thing that we need for a clearance for the evidentiary material to get the environmental completed is we are working on an agreement with the Osage Nation out of Missouri. They have requested that we send them information for the clearance that there might be some Indian remains within that project or some area, that we've already gotten the clearance from the Culture and History for the state of West Virginia, but that's the only thing that we need to do, and there has been correspondence back and forth. But we will finish up the plans and specs. I would think that we're probably very close to requesting funding, the commitment from the Infrastructure Council, probably October 10th, to be done in December, and moving forward to request authorization to bid this fall, with construction to begin in the spring of 2022, and the project be completed by the end of 2022. This project is moving very well. Any questions? Thank you very much.
You're fine, go ahead, Sawana.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sawana Ellis from the Regional Council, and I'm here with all the HUD documents that we'd like approved for the Jim Ridge Phase 2 water line extension. And I've got copies for everyone. And the signature pages for the president. And all of these are in a package. So the documents that I'm presenting before you for approval is the 3-day rule, the 504 ADA complaint resolution procedures and ADA complaint form, the administration resolution, the plan to affirmatively further fair housing, the insurance document, Hatch Act resolution, labor standards complaint procedure, code of conduct, disclosure report, displacement document, equal employment opportunity policy, fair housing document, small purchases procurement procedure, and the staff analysis. And this is the bulk of most of the documents that you will approve and sign off on. But we will have others, and we'll also have the evidentiary materials to present to you later on.
I make a motion, we approve the program procedure approval of documents presented by the Regional Council as part of the evidentiary material for the Jim Ridge Phase 2 water line extension, and authorize the president to sign as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Frank, if you want to go ahead and come up, we'll go on to our next agenda item, which is the Confidence 911 Tower Construction bid opening.
Good morning, gentlemen. We rebid the tower project. We had 4 vendors that had an interest in it. We apparently had one vendor yesterday that sent us an email that one of their engineers, due to a medical problem, was not able to bid. So we ended up with 3 bids. And the first one, Abston and Sons LLC from Winfield. total is $825,000 for that one. The second one is from Premier Construction Group LLC out of Jane Lou, West Virginia. And we've done a couple addendums on here for assuming two. Yeah. Okay. We'll go to the third one. They apparently broke that one down differently on their totals. This is from Telconn, Telconn Incorporated, out of Parkersburg. And it appears their total was $699,919.
Is it even close to Telcom?
They've got two different pages. They've got an amount for $435,000, they've got an amount for $438,000, and the third page is $329,000. So I don't know if all those are supposed to be added up, or if there's, I can't figure out.
Larry, is that something that we could declare as a non-responsive bid if it's not done in a proper format? We have an obligation to read them aloud.
See addendum.
Under review and come back.
Okay, so there's the tower. Site work, roadway, foundation. Electrical tower install.
Larry, would we have the legal authority to let them review those and bring it back? Or does it need to be done in public now, or can they evaluate it and then read it later in this same meeting?
They can evaluate it. I'm looking on the first page of it. Premier provided 340-foot SS Tower C addendum. This is your addendum, which includes the solid leg tower, a diesel generator, and UPS spec.
If I'm looking at it right, it apparently looks like on this one, they do have the tower, the electrical, grounding, They're providing the building that we asked for, delivery of the building, setting it up at site, installing the generator, installing the UPS. It looks to me
I don't know what this part is. Is this pricing for
okay, so this is if we provide it. That's the cost if we provide those, apparently. So if we buy these ourselves, so I'm
What's the
assuming,
difference between that total? Why is that different? It's supposed to be total, grand total. Should be this number, right?
yes. So it appears, at looking at it, the grand total that we're looking at for Premier will be $438,760.50. $438,760.50.
Okay.
And I would like to look through that to make sure that,
Okay. So Larry, they got the opportunity to do that, and then we can bring them back. But
Yes.
the number 438,760 is what we're recording at this point.
Yes.
Commissioners, do you remember the original bid? We only got one bid that came $768,000.
Right.
So either way, it would be
Yeah. Okay, is that all the bids?
Who was the original, that one time we got the one bid, who was that from?
It was Premier.
Okay.
So Premier went from 700 and some thousand to 438?
That's the way it appears.
Competition is a good thing.
So we'll give them time to come back to that.
Y'all gonna come back later when you get it ironed out. Dilapidated enforcement housing cases.
thank you.
Tina?
So I am petitioning the county commission to accept and file a formal complaint for case number 2021-27, Ronnie L. and Pamela K. Call, respondent. A written complaint was received on May 19th, 2021. An inspection was conducted on May 24th for property located at 786 Midland Trail in Hurricane, tax map 231, parcel 51. Photographs from that inspection are attached as Exhibit A. The public records indicate that the landowners of the property is Ronnie L. and Pamela K. Call. Copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. Landowners did sign for the personal service, which is attached as Exhibit C. The day recommendations shall include the property is a work in progress. They are in the process of cleaning the property, and the property owners are taking action. However, any further debris, trash, and refuse shall be cleaned up from off the lot of record. I believe the property owners are here today as well.
Would the property owners like to speak? Yeah. If you would, just state your name and address for the record.
Pamela Call, 1019 Midland Trail, which is the same as 786, Hurricane, West Virginia.
Okay. And just, you want to tell us your efforts to clean the property up?
We've done quite a bit. The trailer that's actually in the photos, the big black trailer, it's not even there now. He actually had it, he picks up heating and cooling stuff from Taze Valley Heating and Cooling and takes it to scrapyard. And at the time, we had just got our double wide kind of settled in, so everything was just, we'd been in a camper for 5 months. Both of us had had COVID, so everything was just way out of sorts. And like I said, the trailer's gone. We've been cleaning up the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've made a lot of progress, so we're hoping to get it all done soon.
Okay.
And he does still pick up for Tays Valley Heating and Cooling. So sometimes there may be some things sitting there until he gets like a trailer load. No need for him to take a piece or two at a time. But usually that doesn't take just a couple days. I mean, it's nothing like it was.
Okay. Tina, when was the last time you were on the property?
To be honest, I've driven past there, but I haven't really, inspected it lately, because it's just been pretty busy. So I do apologize, but, yeah.
And I never thought to take some pictures and bring them today. We still have some cleaning up to do. We do still have some of the appliance stuff there, but he's working on getting that cleaned up. And where he's sick, has a lot of health problems, I work 2 jobs, so sometimes there's nobody at home. I mean, he does what he can. He's on all-time oxygen, and it's just kind of hectic for us.
If we proceed, you still have plenty of time to
Yes,
get it
sir.
cleaned up. So we can just continue the process. It'll give you all time to clean up, and then when it comes to a point where we would levy a fine or anything, we would have the ability at that time to extend it even further if you all are making good progress. So
Okay.
I don't see any reason why we shouldn't at least continue.
So by us accepting the complaint today, we're still just reviewing the process. There's no sanctions or anything being sent against you today. It's just, we're still going to review the process, and then staff will come out and take some pictures, document the process before we get back there.
And we do appreciate the efforts that you put in it so far.
Okay, all right, thank you.
If the final order does be served, they still have 2 months after the final order as well, so.
So here it's to receive the formal complaint and then to file the order.
And then to file the order,
Both, okay.
yeah, accept and file.
I'll make a motion that we accept the complaint for case number 2021-27 as presented.
Second?
Have a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion, we file the order for case number 2021-27.
Second?
Have a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Case number 2021-28.
Yes, I am petitioning the county commission to accept and file a formal complaint for case number 2021-28, David D. Lafferty, respondent. A written complaint was received on May 19th, 2021. An inspection was conducted on May 24th for the property located at 125 Pine Street, Hurricane, tax map 230C, parcel 232. Photographs of the inspection are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowner of the property is David D. Lafferty. A copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The property owner did sign for the personal service on September 3rd, 2021, which is attached as Exhibit C. The day of recommendation shall include removal of all overgrown vegetation, refuse, trash, non-operational vehicles, and debris from off the lot of record. The property owner did come to our day of board meeting. He did say that the property is still in the condition of that initial inspection. However, he said he was in the hospital. He's also here today. I don't know if he would like to speak or not, Mr. Lafferty.
Hi, good morning. My name is David Lafferty. I live at 125 Pine Street, Hurricane, West Virginia, 25526. I got home Labor Day, okay, September the, 3rd, 2nd? Anyway, I got home. I've been in the hospital. Had an accident June 30th. I had my colon torn, okay? And I've been working on my property since I got home. I got Papa's grass grow around my place. I took my fence down on 2 sides. Like I said, I've been working on it. That's all I need to say. It's a growing progress.
So what will happen here, Mr. Lafferty, if we accept the complaint, then there's no fines levied at this time, but it's just what's on our agenda to keep looking at, so you need to keep making progress and
Yes,
trying to clean
I
it up.
understand. I need to work, yes.
Okay.
I understand.
All right, I'll make a motion, we accept case number 2021-28.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As it's been presented.
Second?
Have a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I make a motion, we file case number 2021-28 as it's been presented.
Second?
Have a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm petitioning the county.
Case number 2021-41.
I'm petitioning the county commission to accept and file a formal complaint for case number 2021-41, John M. and Lisa A. Estes, respondent. A written complaint was received on July 28th, 2021. The inspection was conducted on August 6th, 2021 for property located at 1495 County Route 19 at Hurricane Creek Road in Hurricane, tax map 210, parcel 26.3. Photographs were taken at the time of the on-site inspection and are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowners of the property are John M. and Lisa A. Estes. A copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowners or other persons signed for the certified letter on September 2nd, and a return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The day of recommendation shall include demolition of all structures on the property and removal of debris, refuse, abandoned vehicle, and debris from demolished buildings from off the lot of record.
Did you have any response from the respondents?
They
Any-
actually did come, the lawyer for the respondent came to our day of board meeting. They did speak. They did say they've contacted like 6 contractors, and they're all like $20,000 each, and basically that's what they said. But this property has been in this shape since I moved to West Virginia, so it's been a while, at least a year.
Okay. And they aren't here today?
I don't see them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we accept case number 2021-41 as presented.
Second?
Have a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Make a motion, we file case number 2021-41 as presented.
Second?
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Case number 2021-45.
Yes, I am petitioning the county commission to accept and file a formal complaint for case number 2021-45 of David R. Caldwell, respondent. Written complaint was received on August 5th, 2021. The inspection was conducted on August 6th for the property located at 1060 U.S. Route 817 at Fraser's Bottom, West Virginia, tax map 162, parcel 93. Photographs were taken at the time of the on-site inspection and are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the property owners is David R. Caldwell. A copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowners or other persons signed for the certified letter on August 19th. Return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The day of recommendation shall include removal of all overgrown vegetation so that a further evaluation of the structure on the property can be inspected for structural soundness. If the structure has been deemed dilapidated, then the demolition of the structure and removal of the demolition debris is recommended from off the lot of record. The last photograph that I included was actually from Google Maps to show exactly what is inside that brush and what it used to be. So just to let you know what structure is actually there.
Is Mr. Caldwell here? Did you have any response from Mr. Caldwell?
No.
Okay. I make a motion, we accept case number 2021-45 as it's been presented.
Second?
Have a motion second, all in favor, say aye.
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 I make a motion, we file case number 2021-45 as presented.
Second?
Have a motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Case number 2021-44.
Yes, I am petitioning the county commission to accept and file a formal complaint for case number 2021-44, Mary F. McClung, respondent. A written complaint was received on August 5th, 2021. An inspection was conducted on August 6th for the property located at 18660 Winfield Road in Fraser's Bottom, West Virginia, tax map 162, parcel 86.3. Photographs were taken at the time of the inspection and are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowner of the property is Mary F. McClung. A copy of the deed, tax records, and her lawyer's letter are attached as Exhibit B. The landowner did sign for the certified letter on September 13th. A return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The data recommendations shall include removal of all overgrown vegetation so that a further evaluation of the structures on the property can be inspected for structural soundness. If the structures are deemed dilapidated, then demolition of the structures and removal of demolition debris is recommended from off the lot of record. The respondent's lawyer has been in contact with our office, and I'm not sure if he is here today. Yes.
Okay. Would Ms. McClung, our attorney, please approach? Morning.
Commission, I'm Walton Shepard. I'm an attorney. I'm from Sissonville, and I'm representing Ms. McClure, who's here president in the, Ms. McClung, who's president in the commission meeting room. We admit that the overgrowth, this is a historic structure on this property. It was a barn structure that would take a bunch of dynamite to blow up. It was constructed in 1860, approximately 1860, and there's additions and extensions to the 1860 structure that were built in the 1940s and the 1970s. And we admit that it was actively farmed until approximately 5 years ago, and there is considerable underbrush and growth that's taken over the structures. But we commit to cleaning the property up. We'd like to wait until the first frost when or the first heavy frost when the kudzu and brush dies for the year, and it would be more feasible to remove it at that time. But we want to do that. We want to preserve the property. It does have historic significance, and it's right on Route 035, 817 now. So it's invisible to traffic, and so it is an eyesore now, but we anticipate that it won't be any longer.
Well, our process here is if we accept the case and we file the case, that would give the respondents 60 days. Is that correct?
That's after the final order, so he could request a public hearing, which could push it back even further. But I would like to make one comment. You said it's a historic house and structures.
It's a barn.
The barn is. However, I asked the respondent if it's on a historical registry, and it's not listed on a registry. So if it's not listed on a registry, it's not considered historic. Just want to point that out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You all could get it listed on the historic record
I'm sorry?
And you could go to the effort to try to get it listed on the historic record in the meantime, but you still have a long ways to go before there will be any financial sanctions. So,
Ms. McClung, do you want to say anything?
I have tried for about 4 years to get the property cleaned up when my husband was ill. He was ill in 2011. We leased this property to Harry Griffith, and he had farmed it. He had horses there. But he passed away in 2015. So for 4 years, I've tried to get this property cleaned up. I've been stood up 3 times, meeting people there. They just either weren't interested or just left me off. I don't even know what. When I got the letter, I still didn't know of anybody who would clean it up, but I was able to find somebody who can start on cleaning it up October 1st, anytime after October 1st. They asked if they could wait until the first frost so they could see what we're trying to clean up, so they don't ruin their equipment if they run into something. That's why we wanted a little bit of additional time to clean this up. My husband would have with the tractor and brush hog, but then he got sick, he couldn't, and now it takes heavier equipment to do that.
No, I understand.
So we'll get this done.
Our procedure now, to keep it on our radar, to keep looking at it, no sanctions being issued, is to accept the complaint and file the complaint, and then we'll continue to review it, but you'll be notified of all the meetings we have and reviews, and you can keep Tina informed of progress that we're making on getting the property ready to be cleaned.
I do know that the barns should be still structurally sound. The one that was built in 1860, I'm sure that the Civil War soldiers used to march right by it, or maybe even stayed there, because there was a ferry crossing right across the street.
we can look at that building again once y'all are further into the process, and we can redetermine that. This just keeps our process on track, and I think you'll find that with the timing that you have, you're probably going to get the first early frost before something happens anyway here, before any financial sanctions would be.
They'll start right around October 1st, so
Yeah.
they should have it done within that whatever period of time that you're giving us.
All right.
All right, we're just, like Commissioner Skidmore said, this just keeps it on our agenda. We can review it. When you all get some of the cleanup done, we can go back and take another look at the barns for
Thank you very much.
structural soundness.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. McClung. Thank you, sir. I'll make a motion that we accept complaint case number 2021-44.
Second?
Got a motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. I make a motion we file case number 2021-44.
Second?
Got a motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Case number 2021-46.
Okay, I am petitioning the county commission to accept and file a formal complaint for case number 2021-46, James Turner, respondent. A rent complaint was received on August 10th, 2021. An inspection was conducted on August the 13th for property located at 45 Willow Rose Drive in Hurricane, tax map 240C, parcel 82. Photographs were taken at the time of the on-site inspection and are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowners of the property located at 45 Willow Rose Drive in Hurricane is James Turner. Copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowner did sign for the certified letter on September 8th. Return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The data recommendation shall include removal of all overgrown vegetation, refuse, trash, and debris from off the lot of record, as well as repair the dilapidated outbuilding.
Did you have any comments from Mr. Turner?
No.
Mr. Turner here today. Make a motion, we accept case number 2021-46.
Second?
Got a motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Make a motion, we file case number 2021-46.
Second?
Have a motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Case number 2021-53.
Okay, I'm petitioning the county commission to accept and file a formal complaint for case number 2021-53, Brooks T. Humphreys, respondent. A written complaint was received on August the 30th, 2021. The inspection was conducted on August 31st for property located at 6009 Tays Valley Road in Scott Depot, West Virginia, tax map 223, parcels 59.3 and 60. Photographs were taken at the time of the inspection and are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowners of the property located at 6009 Tays Valley Road is Brooks T. Humphreys. A copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowners did sign for the certified letter on September 3rd. The return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The day of recommendation shall include all of the overgrown vegetation and any debris from off the lot of record. This is a field, and the respondent has contacted my office. It's actually a hay field, and it's just been let go now for various reasons, I suppose. But there's been some complaints about this field. I know the county commission decided about mowing grass, we don't want to police that, but I'm not quite sure if this would fall into that same category as mowing grass.
Are there buildings or structures on the property?
There is, and her property is actually, the lawn around her house is like 3 acres, I think. That's well kept, but the field, hay field's been let go, not being cut with a hay baler. So.
If the building and the yard around it is well kept, I think we're going down a slippery slope. We're looking at just the area around it. Otherwise, you have a house in a forest.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not, I wouldn't support moving forward on this one based on the information that's been presented.
Yeah. Anybody affiliated with this property here today?
I'm not for sure. She said she would be here, but I don't see her. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if the house is in good shape and the yard around the house is in good shape, and
Yeah.
this is more or less just turned into forest, I would assume.
Well, it's a hayfield it's just overgrown hayfield.
Is it encroaching others' properties?
It's abutting people's properties. It used to be well-maintained, but it's no
Right.
longer well-maintained, and so you got
That
neighbors.
might be
that
more of
want
a
to
civil
complain.
issue, wouldn't it, Larry, if it's encroaching someone's property? Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. I don't think this is, if the house and surrounding the house is in good shape, I think we're overstepping our bounds in that.
Commissioner Ellis?
I agree with Commissioner Skidmore that we can't force them to mow the hayfield if the house and surrounding area is well-maintained.
I'll make a motion, we do not accept case number 2021-53 as it's been presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, I'll have to type up a dismissal order for this one, which shouldn't take me but a couple of minutes, so I'll do that after.
Okay.
You want to present that at this meeting, or do you want to do it at a future meeting?
It's up to you, I mean, whatever. I could do
And
it.
for time, just do it next meeting, have the dismissal, just bring it from next and be fine.
Okay.
Okay, case number 2021-25.
Yes, 25, sorry. Yes, this is the final order for case number 2021-25, Benjamin King, respondent. The property still has a ways to go to be in compliance, so that's all I have to say.
Which property is this?
This is the one up, oh geez, I don't have the address, I'm sorry. It's in Bancroft. It's the home that burnt down.
It's the Bancroft one, okay.
Yeah, the home that burnt down, he's clearing it off right now.
And you
so
say they've made progress, but they have a long ways to go?
They still have a ways to go. There's
And
some
the
debris.
order gives them how much additional time?
60 days,
So they still have plenty of time.
Okay.
right.
So even if we Accept, so our,
We issue the.
so today's issuing the order and they still have 60 days before sanctions.
Right.
Okay. Is there anyone here regarding Benjamin King representing him? Make a motion, we issue order case number 2021-25 as presented.
Second?
Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Case number 2021-06.
Yes, this is case number 2021-06, Par Industrial Company. I would like to read the lawyer for Par Industrial emailed to me for the record because he couldn't be here today. Tim LaFawn stated on September 13th, 2021, "Well, I can't be there on this short of notice. I am in Summersville in court this morning. I object to this hearing without appropriate advance notice. I also object to the commission's attempt to require a new fence to be installed. The dilapidated housing statute does not allow for the same. Could you please provide these comments to the attorney or the commission? Thank you." And I did give that to Mr. Fry beforehand. So yeah, where was I?
Larry, what's your response to the timely notice and whether a fence is, we can require a fence to be replaced or not?
It's a courtesy call.
What's that?
It's a courtesy call. Yeah.
There are a couple things in play. Number one, notices that are being sent to PAR, originally they were signing for them. The last couple of them, I don't think they've been signed for by PAR. So that's the reason we reached out to the attorney to represent him. Unfortunately, because of other commitments, he just couldn't be here this morning. Ms. Peck has been doing a lot of research on it, and there is some indication that that site has not been used for a site since 1982, I believe.
Yeah.
So there's a procedure under, which agency is it, EPA?
EPA.
Under the EPA for closeout. And some of the literature that she's found on it indicates that for a period of 30 years after it's no longer used as a site, it's still under the jurisdiction of the DEP. And one of the recommendations in there was that the fence be maintained and locked at all times to prevent anybody from wandering on the property and potentially being exposed to anything. So it might, whatever your pleasure is, but it might be a good idea to give the attorney at least an opportunity to be here under his schedule, because this was kind of short notice for him.
So we could table this to our end of September meeting. And do we have any other way to notify PAR, the owner?
I've tried to send a process server out to them, and it's in Kanawha County, they said. So the property owner lives in Kanawha County. I try to send it to the business, which is in Nitro. So I don't understand why they can't serve, to these people. I have no idea. And I've been trying to get things served to them for, 3
Larry,
months
could we
now,
use a
so-
process server in Kanawha County to get them served?
Yes, we can transfer it to them.
Well, let's
Which
do
I've
that.
done that before.
Yeah, I'm real disappointed in PAR in general. They have not, I don't think, been responsive to this in any way. It's a mess over there, and it needs to be cleaned up, and I do believe that that it's still potentially dangerous to the community. If that fence was required back then, and that we still have some surface conditions that you can see visibly from the road, I think it's a problem, and we would not be servicing our community well if we don't press as hard as we possibly can on this. I'm not opposed to giving them to the next meeting so that he can be here, but to say the very least, I'm really disappointed in the reaction we've had from them so far.
Right, and now they've rolled up some portion of the fence and put it on the side where kids are actually catching the bus now. with no regard, like I gave you pictures there. I've also submitted in your packet an email from Miss Lindsay, who works for the WVDEP, about that particular issue. And also, I would like to read into the record, oh, it's tabled, sorry. Next time.
I'll make a motion that we table case number 2021-06 and notify their attorney, and we use a processor server from Kanawha County to serve Par Industrial with proper notice.
Second.
I have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, Kanawha County's pretty good about process serving for us. Yeah. So this is case number 2020 before Albert A. and Rita Tinsley responded. There's some new evidence that came into our office on August 19th, 2021, and these photographs are attached to your packet. This is for structure 2. Structure 1 was, if you remember, was demolished and all the debris was cleaned up. It looks fantastic. Structure 2, your orders were to just board up the windows and secure the doors. So there's some angles in those pictures that I personally couldn't get to. So it shows the walls are actually separating from the framing of the structure. And the roof also has holes in it. So I'm submitting a new order today. As a result of this newly evidence that structure 2 should be demolished as well.
Did this go back to the DAA board?
This does not go back to the DAA board. Because it's already in the process, it's already in the county commission's hands. So it would never go back to the DAA board.
So in our previous order, we didn't close this?
Yes.
We did close it.
No, we've never closed this case, right?
Oh, closed it, no. No, this case is not closed. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
still
I
an ongoing case,
misunderstood.
okay.
But we've never issued an order requiring them to demolish this building. We're just,
Right.
to date, they and all it looks like they've done is put a couple of pieces of plywood over a couple of the windows. The building does look to be in really bad condition, especially the roof. And as Tina said, the separation of the foundation. Not only that, but it appears to have shifted in one direction as well. So.
Did we notify the Tinsleys of
They're
today's?
actually here.
Okay.
So I don't know if they would like to speak or.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just used to seeing you. My name is Melissa Braid. I'm here with my sister Kathy Rhodes. Me and my sister does the work for my parents. All of it. My dad has Alzheimer's. My mom has extreme amount of health problems. I'm exhausted. My sister is exhausted, and so is my wallet. Just saying. I have called everybody trying to get this house tore down. Nobody wants to touch it because it has asbestos in it. I don't know what to do. We have tried and tried and tried. In the last letter that my parents have received, or our parents, sorry, it said that there is a possibility that maybe y'all can have it tore down and then bill my mother. And we would really, really appreciate that because we know it needs to come down. There's no doubt about that. We've tried to do everything that she has asked. We've tried tremendously to, comply with everything because we know it needs done. We just can't find somebody to do it. So if y'all can find somebody to maybe help us out, get it tore down, and then bill my mother, we would greatly appreciate that. The one thing I do ask, if that's possible, if there's any way that you can set or find a way to set my mother up on payment arrangements, only because they're on a very fixed income. Like I said, my dad has Alzheimer's, my mom has all kinds of medical issues. Me and my sister pay for a lot of their stuff, and we just can't afford a whole lot at one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
And
No.
we have already dished out over almost $6,000 so far.
Now,
So-
procedurally, Larry, if the county did it, we would just simply place a lien against the property for the cost.
Okay, but
So-
how does that work?
It works, if we place a lien on the property, then at the time the property is sold, the lien is satisfied out of the proceeds of the sale.
So the only way that they could get it done if y'all do it is to take their home?
No.
I'm so confused.
No, we put a lien on the property. They live in a home, they have a lien on it. They can't sell it.
Oh, I
When
see.
it,
Until
when
it's
it,
paid for.
when it's sold, the county would get paid at that time.
I see what you mean now. Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
yeah, it wouldn't have anything to do with taking their home, but it would be a lien on there for that amount, so that way they wouldn't have any out-of-pocket expense now.
Okay,
And at the time of the property sale, then the county would be paid back for that cost.
okay, that would be perfect if y'all could do that, because like I said, me and my sister running out of options.
Who told y'all there's asbestos in the building?
Well, nobody did technically, but some of the people that came out and looked at it said because it's over 100 years old, it's got to have asbestos in it. I don't know anything about that stuff, and neither does my sister.
Okay.
So we're not 100% positive it does or doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that nobody just wants to take on the project, because the way that, she is right, it is leaning. It does need to come down bad, but it's leaning, part of it is leaning over their neighbor's yard. So when they do tear down the house, chances are, part of it's gonna go into their property.
We can get multiple bidders to bid on the demolition.
Okay, and then maybe y'all could let us know, because if you can find one that we can afford, we wouldn't need your help, we'd
Okay.
just pay for it, but, you know what I mean, we're having trouble finding.
Right.
We actually had one of our buildings demolished here not too long ago, so we do
Okay.
have somebody that can do it.
We would be greatly appreciative of anything that y'all can offer, because we're running out of options.
Okay.
Okay.
And we don't want our parents to lose their home.
No, that wouldn't, the only thing we could do was put a lien against the home where that would be paid back at the time of the sale.
Okay, that's
All right.
perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
In light of that discussion, Larry, I mean, are we able to put those parameters specifically on pursuing tearing down this home and leaning the property?
I would think so, especially since the family is not objecting to it
Okay.
and realize that it needs to be done.
I think that would benefit the Tinsleys more, putting a lien on the property, and that way it doesn't burden the daughters until the property is sold. And there is companies, like Commissioner Foster said, that do that. It is probably.
I think the last one we used was Parsons, if I'm not mistaken, for our building here. But there were a couple of bidders on that one, so we could go back and get those bidders.
It'll probably be.
So the question is, do we issue the order, or do we work at this point to get the bids, address the family before we do this?
You can do it either way. And we may have found this morning another funding source for the tearing down of buildings.
Okay, in light of that, I would like to place this on hold, whatever the process would be. Let us get some bids, address it to the family, and see if we can work something out there prior to going to the final order.
Can I say something?
You
really
certainly
quick?
may.
Just thinking, there is no order to have them to tear it down. So to start
So
the
we need to enter the
process-
order to have them tear it down, and we can go
I would think
dual,
so.
dual track is what you're saying.
I don't know.
We can
I
do
mean,
both.
it's up to
I got
you,
you.
but.
Understand.
All right.
And that'll help them out too, because then they know it has to be torn down, and then we can go to the next step.
That's right.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we modify case number 2020-20 to notify the homeowners that the existing building needs to be demolished and that we continue to work with the family to come to that resolution.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for all your work, and we'll try to work something out.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, last but not least, I am submitting an amended order for case number 2021-23 for Patricia Cathy, respondent. And the reason I'm submitting a amended final order is because the property owner did not receive the formal complaint when I submitted the final order for her property. So therefore, I want to give the property owner a due process. In order to do that, I need to do this amended order to start from today's date, to give her that 60 days.
Okay.
Mr. Kathy is an elderly gentleman, so. Yeah, they do have a lot.
So you would need just a motion to amend the final order. Make a motion, we amend the final order in case number 2021-23 as presented.
Second?
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
911.
And bring the 911 back up on the tower?
Actually, I'm just sitting here reviewing this bid. I think we need to make some additional clarifications. I think the bid that came in for $699,000, there's some information or requirements there that are missing. And then the Premier Construction Group, we had mentioned that the low bid or the grand total for that was $438,760.50. But after further reviewing that, that appears to be because they're giving us a quote based on us purchasing some of the equipment on our own. So when you add that back in, it's comparable to what their original bid was. So I think we need some more time to dive into this and make sure that we get the details right. Because I don't know between this bid and the bid that was $699,000 that's missing a piece, which bid is going to be the lowest.
So is that okay, Larry, if we table this to our next meeting for it to be reviewed even further?
Yes, so it can be reviewed by staff to make sure that it complies with all the requirements of the bid and so that they can basically figure out the numbers.
I think we need to get it right, and if there's still confusion, which it appears there is, we should develop a bid document that they fill in the line items so that we don't have this problem again. So we may, after getting this information, just have to throw all the bids out and start one more time.
Make a motion, we table Confidence 911 Tower Construction bid opening and instruct staff to determine the details and present back to us at our next meeting.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Fiscal year 2021 Stop Violence Against Women Act Grant Contract 2021 WV CFIA Grant Application. Tim Hanna.
Okay, the first thing I have is just the grant contract between Putnam County Commission and the Division of Justice and Community Services for the VALA grant for the Sheriff's Department. These are just our standard contracts that we have between the state and us for the different grants we receive. I need a motion for Commissioner Skidmore to actually sign this grant because he was the acting commission president at the time the grant was submitted. You guys have any questions?
I make a motion that we approve it and authorize the acting president Skidmore at the time to sign on behalf of the county commission.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, the second thing I have is the 2021 West Virginia Courthouse Facilities Improvement Authority grant application. This is a grant that we use to fund different projects for the historic courthouse here in the county. This year, we are going to request the maximum of $100,000 from the CFIA to fix, clean, and seal the old historic masonry of the old part of the courthouse. With this, the renovation project that we had in here where they fixed the walls and repainted recently, that they've noticed there was quite a bit of water damage, and the majority of the water is coming through the bricks. So this project will seek to address the water coming in so we don't damage the new walls that just got put up. So there's a 20% match for this grant, and depending on how the bids come back, this could be a multi-year grant since there's a maximum of $100,000.
You need President's signature.
Please.
Make a motion to approve the West Virginia CFIA grant application and authorize the President to sign.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anything else that needs to come for the commission today?
I have one thing.
Okay.
The county commission previously had agreed to do a purchase and demolition of a residence over in Poco's, Poco River Road South. We've been going through the process on that, and one of the things that I have done, and I did not add it to the agenda because I don't need any official action on today, but I did a mandatory pre-bid on it. Two companies showed up. The deadline to submit any bids was this morning at 9 a.m., and I received one bid from one of the companies that was here for the mandatory pre-bid. So I'm going to open it at this time. And this is from Reclaim Company. Yeah, and I'm not seeing their bid amount. don't see their bid amount on here. So let me suggest that we hold this over, and I will try to go through here and find it. It must be buried someplace. And I will bring it back and put it on the agenda for the next meeting at the end of the month.
Larry, I'm not sure that's a good idea. When we don't do it in the public, somebody could say that you've taken it back and changed or modified or let somebody slip something in. If it's not readily available there, then we haven't done a very good job of doing our bid documents, and I would just say that we reject all bids and do it again.
And you only have one bid anyway.
We only have one bid anyway. I don't want anybody to think that the county commission even remotely had an opportunity to change some bid.
If it's here,
Jeremy, you want to look at it with him and see if you can?
I do not see it. That is those parts, yes. Resume.
Is based on square feet, maybe they priced it based on per square foot, it depends on, they didn't do a list, was it asked per square foot or grand total? Because it looks like they have the demolition, 4.75 per square foot. That's a good amount. I'm not sure how it was.
Okay.
That's probably. I don't know, how many square feet is the structure?
I don't know. Right off the top of my head, I don't know.
How was the advertisement done?
Well, it's supposed to be, what we had set aside was this is in the documents, was $23,500. They were to do a bond in the amount of 5% of that, and supposed to have certain bond requirements. Bond amount is 5% of the total bid amount. They've got that in there. And as Mr. Young indicated, they put down the prevailing wage rate is $4.75 per square foot, and prevailing wage rates are $2 per square foot.
I make a motion that we reject all bids and that we put a bid package together which is clear enough that we can understand so that we don't have to interpolate or try to determine exactly what the bid is.
Well, this is an action on agenda item, right, Larry?
Yeah.
So do we need, is there really any action we could take since there's no agenda item?
No,
You
not at
just
this
wanted to
point.
do this during a public meeting?
Yeah.
So we need to bring it up at another meeting on the agenda to reject and start again. Okay,
Okay.
let's do that, please. Okay, anything else?
Make a motion, we adjourn to our next scheduled meeting, Thursday, September 30th at 5:30 PM.
Second?
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.